Now to our major story of the day. It's a second day since Mr. Ibrahim Magu was rejected as the chairman of the EFCC. To what comes to many as an issue of great concern, the rejection by the Nigerian Senate and the possible reaction of the presidency on this matter, considering the fact that this is the second time Mr. Ibrahim Magu's name will be submitted to the National Assembly for consideration as the substantive chairman of the EFCC. Now, what is the presidency's response to this? The presidency has said that it will respond as soon as the Senate gives its own report to the presidency. And again, a big question comes in the fact that now that Mr. Ibrahim Magu has been rejected, who becomes the acting chairman, or is he still the acting chairman of the EFCC? Another big question will be the rejection of Mr. Ibrahim Magu hinging on the report of the DSS. That's as much as what the senator said. What has happened between the two agencies of government, the DSS and the EFCC? And that takes our attention on the program. Joining me to give perspectives to this matter tonight is the former national chairman of the Labour Party, Chief Dan Owanyawo. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
How does this come to you? I remember speaking to you on this same matter at the first time when Mr. Ibrahim Magu was rejected by the Senate. At that time, he was not even allowed to speak on the floor of the Senate. But this time around, he spent over an hour speaking to the senators about some of the questions thrown at him. But how does the second appearance come to you?
Well, I must tell you that what transpired yesterday on the floor of the Senate is a national disgrace and an embarrassment. It is a disgrace and embarrassment because a week ago, my intelligence confirmed to me that the Senate will not confirm Magu.
Wow.
I said so in a forum. Unfortunately, I did not release it to the press because they have made up their minds not to confirm Magu, irrespective of the outcome. And I want to give you that with so many reasons. One, when he was turned down the first time, he was returned back to the president. The president referred the matter to the Attorney General of the Federation, who investigated and gave him clean bill of health. The president communicated back to the Senate that I have looked at the reasons for not screening him, and he is not to be blamed. He returned it back to them. In this particular screening, the same Senate wrote to the DSS for a report, which the author of the first report referred to the report of October last year. And that was the main reason again why they turned him down. I want to tell you that this Senate, this particular Senate, under the present leadership, will never, ever clear Magu.
Even if it's represented the third time?
Even if it is represented the third time, because they have made up their mind ab initio.
What would be the reason?
It just smell with
From your intelligence?
I will give you the reason. One, Magu is unapproachable. Magu cannot be compromised.
Really?
Magu has refused to do deals.
But
I'm coming.
You saw the reports.
Yes.
These are just against some of the reports against Mr.
Yes,
Magu.
I have taken the report. I investigated the report myself. For example, you said Magu, one retired Omar, rented an apartment for him. It is not true. I investigated. I found out from the FCD office that they paid for the house. They paid for the house. I saw the documents. All the persons who are taking position with Senate has never taken the pains to investigate. I investigated the issues one after the other before I came on TV. I will not speak on an issue I do not know. The Senate on its own had made up their minds that Magu will never be cleared.
Is it the fault of the Senate that Mr. Magu's the security report on Mr. Magu does not give him a clean bill of health? Or the fault of, for example, the presidency, on the other hand, that controls or that gets briefs from the security agency about any happening in the country? I mean, I should think that the normal thing that happens is that even the DSX director is an
appointee of the president.
Yes. And briefs the national security advisor and the presidency on whatever on a large scale and high, top-notch position like that?
Yes, I don't want to drag myself into the politics going on within the presidency. There is they're playing a lot of politics. And unfortunately, Magu has become the victim. He's being witch-hunted.
Really?
He's being hounded. I am saying it on good authority. It's because they have made up their mind that they don't want Magu. Secondly, you have many former governors in the Senate whose files are with Magu and who are still being investigated. And I don't know how you will come to screen somebody you know has your file and you have committed an offense. Very soon you will be in court. Nemo judet in Kasaswa. You cannot be a judge in your own court.
So is it a case of corruption fighting back now?
Of course, corruption is fighting back. Corruption is fighting back.
From the appearance of Mr. Magu yesterday, we had the spokesperson of the Senate on the program yesterday, and who said, look, from the appearance of Mr. Magu, he did not even perform well. And
okay, let me take you
that basis.
Let me take you up on that. You see, everybody has his style. You don't expect Magu to speak like Sheung or to speak like me. It depends on you. It depends on the person, his mien. Magu did not appear in the Senate to be awarded a PhD of a professorial seat. He appeared to explain some of those issues. For example, they said he could not even say how much he has collected. Of course, it was difficult to say so. While he was there, he was getting a report, I guess, from a money abandoned in Kaduna Airport.
But shouldn't he have prepared himself for such?
No.
I mean, for over several weeks, he knows that he was going to appear before the Senate.
He answered the question, but I'm pointing out the issues that the Senate said he could not answer. He could not give them the figures of funds recovered. If you have said, give us the funds recovered up to February, that would be easy. If Magu couldn't give you that, but give me the funds you have recovered, the figures up to date. That would be a problem.
You run a legal bar,
yes.
A legal office. You know how much you've earned over the last few weeks.
I cannot unless if you ask me now.
But you can give a bracket.
It's difficult. I have to go back to my accounts. I have to go back to my bank and look at my expenses.
Another issue is that the social...
If you ask me how much in my bank account, I cannot tell you. It's not that it's big, but I have to be sure.
But for an EFCC chairman whose duty is to recover money, he should have an idea of how much he has recovered.
Yeah, it depends on the time limit you want it. These funds are recovered every day.
He should have prepared for that.
Just yesterday, somebody abandoned 49 million in the airport.
Okay. Let's quickly get these deeper into this matter now. The socio-economic rights TERAP has come to say what happened at the Senate yesterday is constitutionally wrong. Let's bring the executive director of TERAP, Mr. Adetokunbo Mumuni, who joins us from our Lagos studio. Many thanks, Mr. Adetokunbo Mumuni, for joining us on the program. Your group, your organization has come out to say what happened at the floor of the Senate was wrong constitutionally. On what basis are you putting that up?
Thank you, John, for having me. The position that we take in our organization is that the duty to confirm the EFCC chairman belongs to the Senate. It is a constitutional duty. But whilst performing that duty, the Senate has the right to act rationally, reasonably, and logically. Now, what was the entire basis for saying Magu has failed the screening? What they said was that there are two conflicting reports from the DSS on him. Now, our position is that you should have given Magu the necessary opportunity to react to every of the allegations. That is the only basis for saying they have acted rationally, reasonably, and constitutionally. So if you don't give him the opportunity to react to every facet of the report of the DSS, then you will have failed in your duty. Now, again, if you...
Mr. Mumuni,
yes.
With what is on the ground now,
yes.
The DSS gave a report.
Yes.
One we wonder, it's commonsensically, isn't it, when the security report says that this man cannot be confirmed, should the Senate confirms him, would that be morally right? And legally, of course.
You see, let me tell you about morality and legality. We know the politics underneath the confirmation hearing of Magu. Like Mr. Iwayan said, most of the senators, some of them past governors, already have matters that Magu is handling. And Magu, if you make inquiries about Magu, nobody can categorically accuse Magu of being dishonest in the performance of his duty. But it's like they have made up their mind that they will not confirm him. But what we expected the Senate to have done is to have called the people in the DSS, in the presidency, who issued the report, conflicting report, to come and clarify why they sent two reports conflicting in the first place. So the onus, if the Senate wants to carry out this work, will have been on the Senate to invite somebody from the DSS to clarify why they sent two reports on the same subject, on the same person in the first place. That's the only way they will have acted reasonably, logically, and constitutionally.
All right, Mr. Mumuni,
yes.
The DSS report says, in the light of the foregoing, Magu has failed the integrity test. But we go on a short break. For a man who, they say, has failed the integrity test, coming from perhaps one of the major security agencies in the land, cause for a lot of concern, isn't it? Chief Nwanya, who is here, Mr. Mumuni in our Lagos studio, will dig deeper, plus the uniform saga of the custom CG. That's so much to chew tonight on the program. That's when we return. Join us again.
Consequence to the decision of the Senate to reject the nomination of Mr. Ibrahim Magu, I therefore move that the Senate by resolution, as the highest public officer in EFCC, to continue to take over the leadership of EFCC.
We have concluded on this matter, and I believe that our decision and confirmation process speaks for itself. And I believe that in passing any further resolution on this, we'll be saying the obvious. I think it is very clear. What we have taken decision today is that we have not confirmed Ibrahim Magu as the chairman, and as such, it goes to show that it requires for the president to renominate another candidate, and in the interim, that he cannot, of course, somebody else will have to carry on the exercise.
Instead of just coming through oratory adoration and making statements, maybe perhaps we may be either calling him names or all that, our duty is to direct him to come. If he refuses to come, we issue a warrant and compel him to come, because he must obey this arm of government.
The Senate in the Committee of the Whole could not be briefed by the Controller General of Customs and Excise on the proposed retrospective duty payment of vehicles in Nigeria. The Senate President read a letter from the Controller General of Customs on his inability to attend the Senate briefing. He further stated that the retrospective duty payment on vehicle in Nigeria has been suspended for further consultation. The Senate, in accordance with Section 89 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999, as amended, resolved to compel the Controller General of Customs to appear before the Senate on Thursday, 16th March 2017, in plenary at 10 a.m. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole?
Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. Much attention these days in the Senate and the Hallowed Chamber there, and what went down yesterday, and of course today, it was the CG of Customs, being some senators wanted him to appear before them in uniform. They asked him to go back and come on Wednesday. The main issue is about the issue of duties, and for Mr. Magu, that was rejected yesterday. You heard the Senate president there to say the duties of the EFCC chairman should be carried out not by Mr. Magu. The future for Mr. Magu and the process and the politics in it is what we've been talking about. Mr. Abdulmumin Tokunbo is the ED of SERAP, and Chief Danny Wanya who have been talking to us on the program. Let me quickly get your thought on this before we switch to the issue of the CJ of Customs.
Yes.
The report of, they said they cannot confirm him. The report was very clear, no clean bill of health. What do you think is the solution? You heard the Senate president saying, look, it must be someone else that will carry his duty. That means, is it all over for Mr. Magu as, in that position?
No. The Senate president may have overreached himself by directing that it must be somebody else by virtue of Section 171(1) of the Constitution. It is not in the mouth of the Senate president or the Senate itself to determine who will be appointed to be chairman of EFCC.
So he can still continue as the acting chairman?
What the president should do, in all sense of responsibility and patriotism, is to reappoint Magu in acting appointments. If the president doesn't do so, Senate yesterday indicted the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
How?
By not confirming Magu, not taking into cognizance the clearance the President gave him in January when he resubmitted his name. The President referred this matter to the Attorney General of the Federation, who investigated. Magu was invited, and he answered those issues item by item. The Attorney General of the Federation was satisfied, and the President was satisfied, and then the President resubmitted his name. What they have just done is to impugn on the integrity of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Do you think,
and I don't think the President, Nigerians will be happy.
If you are asking that the President should reappoint him,
yes,
and resubmit his name.
No, he doesn't need to. I have told you this Senate will never. Never.
So, but can he become the chairman without the Senate?
No. Acting chairman.
So he can act for how long?
The President should reappoint Ibrahim Magu to continue to act as acting chairman of the EFCC. And Magu should go ahead to do his job to satisfy Nigerians. It doesn't matter whether the President did not submit his name any further. He can act as long as it pleases the President. Let's
get the thoughts of Mr. Abdulmumin Tokunbo of SERAP. What would be your suggestion, first and foremost, and for the fight against corruption? Do you think it's all over? Or the presidency, what should they be doing right now?
I think people have accused the presidency of not having a clear-cut plan about this war against corruption. And you will see that in the report by the DSS on Magu, submitting conflicting information and documents about Magu. I believe that what the Senate has the right to do is to confirm a substantive chairman of EFCC. The Senate has nothing to do with acting chairman of the EFCC. So what I will advise the President to do is reappoint Magu as the acting chairman of the EFCC, and he continues to carry out his job. If you seek the opinion of Nigerians on this matter, nobody will accuse Magu of dereliction of duty, except that the Senate is playing politics. I don't think it's all over for Magu. Magu can continue to act as the chairman and as the acting chairman of the FCC. It doesn't require Senate confirmation. That is my position.
But the question of the scorecard of Mr. Magu since he became the acting EFCC chairman,
yes.
When they even asked him how much he have been able to get out of this anti-corruption fight, he said he doesn't have the details. The big question is that as the federal government, the Buhari government decides they want to fight corruption, has it been able to fight corruption in the real sense of it? And has Mr. Magu himself been able to do justice to the duty that has been put on his shoulders?
No, you see, what I think, they wanted a categorical answer. How much have you recovered? As at the time Magu was going into the Senate, a lot of other things have happened. Maybe they will say as of January, he will have been able to answer the question. But let me tell you, I don't trust the Senate. and I share the opinion. I also learn from people, from snippets that we hear from people in the Senate. This Senate will not confirm Magu. So the presidency will just leave forwarding the name to the Senate. Let the man continue to act as the chairman of the EFCC. That does not require senatorial confirmation.
All right.
Yes.
Let me also quickly get, just in 30 seconds, let me get your opinion about the CG of Customs and the issue of the uniform. What do you make of it?
What has uniform got to do with performance of duty? That is my sincere opinion. What has wearing of uniform got to do with performance of duty? The only thing they can accuse the man of is he doing the work properly or not? Once that is clear, no problem. Yes.
Let me quickly come here to the Abuja studio. Let's wrap up on this issue of Mr. Magu. Do you think Mr. Magu is performing?
Magu has done excellently well.
Really? Compared to
Magu has done
Waziri,
Magu has
Ribadu,
done excellently
Lamode.
well. And what is pertinent and germane is Magu can never compromise.
Really?
Magu is unapproachable. Corruption is fighting back. All these people fighting Magu have made efforts to reach him, and it is not possible.
This is the same man that they say flies first class.
It is not true. Let them produce the evidence. It's not true.
The DSS is lying.
It is not true. I don't want to get into DSS wahala. I don't want to get into their problem in the presidency. I am talking as a Nigerian. This is a national duty we must do. Yesterday, a senator called me and said that we have refused to confirm. Magu. You see, you are not Fulani. You are not Kanuri. Get out of this. I say this is not Fulani Kanuri matter. I am not interested. Magu is pursuing to recover our common patrimony. And you people cannot stop him. It is the president. If the president is satisfied that Magu is doing this work, president should reappoint him immediately.
Let me get your view
and let him be acting
on the issue of
capacity.
Wearing uniform to appear before the Senate.
Well, this is another issue that has generated controversy. I must tell you there is nothing in the law that says he must appear or go somewhere with uniform. But he is controller. There's a difference between Ali and Controller General of Customs. There is what they call ceremonial dress. There is when there is a ceremony and you are invited. Senate cannot invite IG and he go there on Mufti. Senate cannot invite Chief of Army Staff. He will visit the Senate on Mufti. You see, there is no issue on this. Let's Controller General of Customs, Ali, go and meet an Obioma to sew a uniform for him. Appear before the Senate, let this matter end. There is nothing wrong with it.
Chief Daniel, it's much ado about uniform, isn't it? Thank you so much. Chief Daniel, former national chairman of the Labour Party and the executive director of SERAP, Mr. Adetokunbo Mumini. What a wonderful time I've had with you guys. Many thanks for being part of it. And of course, you, my viewers, many thanks for wherever you're watching on Politics Today, on Channels Television. Many thanks for being part of it. On behalf of the team, I'm Shinwa Kimbale. Bye for now.
Nature is speaking. But who's listening? Human activities are doing more damage than ever before. It's time to yield nature's warning. Join the Earthfile team every week on the journey to learn how to right the wrongs. At these times, only on Channels Television.
We're really not far off the time where if you and I do not speak any common language whatsoever, we will be able to have a conversation in real time using technology to be able to bridge this language barrier.
There's a rapid increase in the use of technology as tomorrow's innovation is now in today's world. Get the latest in technology. Watch Tech Trends on Channels Television.
Let us tell you a story about the Nigerian entertainment industry. A story that keeps you abreast of happenings in the showbiz circle. The trends.
I like doing things that are quite creative and African, so hence my hair.
The race. Experience the thrill. Join us at these